Hello friends and welcome. I hope that you have your scalloped blooms, oh my goodness, my mind went blank, packet that we did for this month's June's card kit. I'm going to turn the camera down today and we are going to assemble all 5 of our projects, and you can take them out and you can follow along with me. You can get your tutorial printed out and you can follow along with that, or maybe a little bit of both. But I wanted to do the step-by-step with you guys, so then that way we can, 1, create together, and 2, if you have any questions on how something's being put together, you can see how I do it and then work your way around it. If you should have, or you should have gotten this, if you're following along with me, the Scalloped Bloom bundle. Now that's the stamp set here. If you can see, that's the stamp set, and I had the dies. Now in your kit, everything is already cut out. It just isn't stamped. So if you don't have the bundle though, you can just stamp whatever sentiment that you would like on it that you have already in your craft stash. So don't fret about that. Everything is, I think, pretty simple and explanatory, but you know, hey, if not, it's okay. We'll figure this out, and let's have fun with it for sure. So I'm going to turn the camera down. We are going to be using all of our beautiful in colors, okay, to create here. Give me 1 second to get my camera. Oh my goodness. I need my eye. Let me get my glasses so I can see, because I want to bring this down just enough that, there you go, that you can see everything, and then we will get started. So go ahead and get your pieces out. Now, if you're not familiar with the card class, you get a little packet in the mail. You get a packet in the mail in a little envelope like this, and inside the envelope you will have all your little pieces. I'll usually will include an embellishment, sometimes a ribbon, or even some designer paper, just depending on what the packet is or themed around during that time. So I can, in my descriptions, you can find a link that goes to my blog that gives you more detail, and we do this once a month. So if you would like to join in and get all of the things, that's a perfect way for you to reach out to me. Okay, so I want to show you this paper first. So this is the Artisan Flowers, Artisan Blooms. Let me see. Artisan Garden makes sense. So check this out. I love how this paper is got all the little florals, and it is super friendly for you to color. Like if you enjoy coloring, you can make this designer paper anything that you would like, or even keep it black and white. But I hope after we finish these projects that you are just excited as I am, and that you will, you know, maybe it'll be something that's on your wish list. There's the other side of it. I love it. I'm digging the whole black and white anyway. It's just gorgeous. So yeah, there's that. Now I have all of my blends with me. If you don't have the blends, just use what you have. So our first project, we're going to do this one. And then this little guy will be our second one. Now, and it actually fits perfect inside this box. So this, you can actually put a little, I don't know, an oatmeal cream pie or something fun like that. But this little guy fits perfect in here. So if you want to make some little note cards, you can make a few of those and stick in there. And then this would make for a perfect little gift as well. And then we'll be doing this card. The next one we will do is this one, and then this one. And this one I am so excited to show you and for you to assemble, because it is super fun. Yes, it is. Okay, I'm gonna put these in order over here so I know what I'm doing. Now inside your packet, You will want to get this one out first, and I'm going to set the rest to the side. You will be using your embellishments for, I think, all of the projects. And these little, you'll have so many of these beautiful little butterflies left over for you to be able to add to other projects. So you will definitely have fun with that. So you'll want those. You are also going to, if you have your blends, you're also going to need your blends. So get those ready and your adhesive. Now, hopefully you went ahead and printed out the PDF. We have the PDF here, so you have your step-by-step instructions, and that way you can follow along as we go. Now, if you've missed it, oh my goodness. So before we put this together, this little box right here, you guys, I am in love with these things. So you get a whole pack of them, right? And they're called scalloped window boxes. We have, okay, yeah, there's 8 in there. So you can, and it has this right here. This has got the vellum cellophane stuff already on there, but you can totally, this is a great way to recreate something fun. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and assemble this little guy. And I know I am going back and forth with the camera, but I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. So we're gonna come back down. So go ahead and just take your little box, fold all of your score lines, just so that way it's easier to fold together. This has nothing with it to, no adhesive on it, like some of our other stuff that we've had in the past. You just simply fold this bottom end, and then this overlaps, and you just kind of stick those things in the pocket there, and you are done. Now these right here actually fold on into the inside of this, just like so. Isn't that cute? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so back, well, I just went the wrong way. Did I not go up enough? No. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. Am I making you crazy? Just bear with me. All right, so inside your packet, you also had this little piece of designer series paper that I went ahead and cut out for you. And it's using the scallops die. So I just kind of stuck that on there. Now, when you get it, you're going to want to attach it to your box. Now, oh man, I did that right the first time. So you can't make that up. But if your scallops aren't fitting right, like if they're kind of looking jagged or whatever, just keep rotating it around your box until your scallops kind of look like they're forming around it very nicely. And then what I like to do is lay this part down, and then that way I know which way it's going. Now you're not going to want to put adhesive all over, so I like to do my edges, and then I squiggle a little bit in the corners, just like so. Then I pick it back up, and then I just lay it right back down how it was. It makes for a perfect little box thing here, just like so. Ta-da! Okay, so I'm going to slide that little guy over. Now this is the side that I cut out from the center here, but I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to take my hydrangea hue, and I'm just going to go over all of these little things here on this side. Now the reason, part of this is going to be covered up, is why I decided just to pick a color and color all the way in on it. You color it however you desire to color it, okay? Just like so. If you're following along with me, how fun and cool. If you do make something different, I would love for you to share on our page so that we can see what yours turned out like. And I also just love these little scallop boxes, because I'm talking, if you're making them for kids in school, their class, or maybe if you have office personnel that you like to bring things for, this is perfect. Or if you just have a bestie or someone that's special that you would like to give it to, that makes perfect sense too. There's just tons of ways to make these boxes fun. And I love to give different special things to people anyway. So I'm putting this right down in the center of the inside of my box, okay? So just add some of my little glue. I'm gonna stick them right down in there just like so. Okay. Now before I do anything else, I need to stamp my sentiment onto this. Now I will be using the black ink, which is, if you've played with it, you know you've got to let it dry. If you do not, it smears. Telling you what. Oh gosh. Okay. But I do love this new ink pad. It's only the black I'm talking about, by the way. The black is what, if you don't let it dry, it completely smears. This, not so much. This does beautifully. So, done with that one. Now I'm going to just put this right, I'm going to turn this over so then that way, if I'm upside down, well, you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I don't know. We'll work with it. Hopefully I'm not upside down for you guys. Okay, then I'm going to take the little flower that we have here and that little guy. Now you can put a dimension on it, but I am not. I'm just going to add some glue here and go ahead and sit him down. Now you will, if you have glue dots, go ahead and add a few to this next size up flower. If you don't have glue dots, tear tape will work as well, or I'm sure adhesive. Multi-purpose glue I would not probably use. That would be a little tricky. So I'm going to add that, kind of just to the side there, kind of give him a little fun. I don't want him trying to go follow all of the scallops verbatim. Okay, let me get our little hugs stamp and our black ink. Now this is the one I probably should have stamped ahead of time for you guys, but let's see if we can do this without making too big of a mess. Well, it's stamped nicely. That's always a plus. I also have our little bow, so let's go ahead and put a glue dot on the back of our bow while I'm waiting patiently for this little hugs to dry. Now the hugs is going to go right on the top here. Now again, you can actually add it with a dimensional if you would like. I put mine down with a little bit of multi-purpose glue, so I'm just going to do it this way, so maybe we can get it laid down without. I'm just trying to slide it over. There we go. And the last thing, you got it, let's add a few little beautiful butterflies to our now you can use whatever color you want to bring it. You can take it, you can add that touch of color. I'm going to actually add that touch of color. It's actually the barely blush, so I don't know how much color I'm actually adding to it. Put one on the inside and one on the out. And then our first project is done. See how simple that was? Super fun. All right, now let's clean this all up. And we are going to get our next packet out. It will be the little card that I showed you earlier. Now you should have all the little pieces that you need right here in front of you. This little strip that you have, that's what we're stamping our sentiment on. We have a piece of the Designer Series paper that we're going to be coloring a little bit on. The other side is black and white. You can use whichever side that you choose. And then I have a piece of the Hydrangea hue inside there. So we're going to go ahead and fold that in half. Now I have the little piece of basic white that does go on the inside. Now in your instructions, I don't have this piece, but I went ahead and added it because I just thought that it was just a fun little add-on. So I put it on the bottom of this piece that I'm sticking on the inside. It's optional. If you don't feel like it needs it, leave it off. But I thought it was a perfect little addition to our little note card. So there we go. Okay, now let's get back to the outside. We're going to do some coloring, so get your blends back out. Let me flip this back over. Now you color these in however you want. There is no certain way or rhyme or of any kind. So I'm going to take a few minutes as you follow along with me, and we're going to color this in. I'm trying, I don't know what I did with my little blue card. I put him up somewhere. Oh, there he is. Okay. So this is basically what it looks like. So you just have fun coloring it however you want to. Move this one out of the way and bring this one back so I can finish. I don't think I used that color last time. So I am using just my In Colors though, because I've started the whole In Color club, and I just thought, you know, might as well show all of the different things that we can be doing to show off them beautiful colors. From the crisp cantaloupe and the peaceful pine and the blue hydrangea. Hydrangea hue is what it is. I shouldn't say blue. We have the golden glow. We have, I think I named them all. Do y'all have a favorite? If you're watching and you're familiar with our colors, do you have a favorite in color? I'm going to say for me, my favorite In Color. I've really been using the Hydrangea hue a lot, but I think the crisp cantaloupe comes in pretty high next to that. I just like I guess the peachy pink color that it gives. But I do love the golden glow. It has a mustardy feel to it. So that is always fun too. I am being super, super sloppy with this. But take your time for sure, because you can always stop and pause, come back, color however you need to. I'm almost done with this one. Some of this will be covered up anyway. All right, so we're gonna add this to the front. Now I'm laying this down here flat, but I'm going to add our sentiment on there with dimensionals. So you don't wanna have too many dimensionals to where it is just too bulky, right? See how different they are? And I mean, depending on your piece, because hello, we did cut it off the same paper, but let me get my block out and then we will be doing the next one. Now this one is Your Kindness Means So Much. Just really love that. Probably got a big old block going on here, but so what I'm gonna do is stamp on this and then we will cut it in half to where we need it to be cut, okay? hope. Let's hope. Will it stamp right? Well, it'll work. It's a little bit lighter on one side. It's just how it goes sometimes. Now, if it stamps light, you don't really have to wait a super long time. I'm going to be cutting it right here in the center. But if it stamps like how one side of this is a little bit darker, that's where you're going to need to give it, if you're using this new ink right here, that's where you're going to need to give it a few minutes to dry, because if you don't, it will smear. I'm going to try and see what it does. Do you think it will smear? I don't know. Let's hope not. Okay. Almost may think the little dimensions will work better. What do you say? Okay, slide it back over here. Now I am putting it closer to the bottom here, just like so. But again, add it to wherever you think that it will fit best for you. Now I'm going to just offset this one just a bit. Now I'm going to take my butterflies, and we are going to add just a couple of little baby butterflies. I'm going to be using the larger Crisp Cantaloupe and one of the small Hydrangea Hues. So it would be just like so. Okay? Project 2 done. Now we're going to get ready for project 3, which is going to be this one right here. So you'll want to get this pack out. I'm going to slide this. Now I think what I'm going to do this time before we get started is I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment, and then we will add this together. This one's fairly simple. So I'm going to take this. I will be putting "You Are a Blessing to Me" on there. So give me a second to find it. Now I have been cleaning my stamps. That's another thing, is this new black ink that I have been using kind of stains them a little bit. That's fine. That just means they are well used, you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this. You can do the same if you would like. Come on, turn out, turn out, turn out. Perfect. Well, it's a little dark, but it's fine. So that way I can set him to the side until we need to come back to him. Now go ahead and put all your little pieces to the side. Now this piece right here, I am going to put it at the bottom. You can lay it flat or add dimensionals. With it being embossed, it already has a little bit of depth with it. But, you know, it's a card, and sometimes just like to make everything a little extra, and it just makes it even better than it was before. So I'm going to set that right down on the center of my card, so that way it sits just like so. Now the fun part is kind of laying these little guys out, your little petals, just so that you, about where you know that they're going to be laying. Okay, and then we can come back and attach them with glue or dimensionals. I will be dimensioning the, I put "You Are a Blessing." That should have been "Thank You," but that's fine. It's fine. Just kind of lay them out, because this piece that you just stamped is going to go right here on top, and then we are going to have it with dimensionals. So, and the tops to our flowers, I like to put the dimensionals on to give it a little bit more poppy. So just kind of randomly stick them on there. I don't press real hard right away because I want to be able to move them if I need to. And I am using that sticky snail glue, but that way we are able to move them into a place that makes sense to us, okay? Now this blue one, I am going to add dimension to because it's going to be laying on top of the words that we're going to add to it, and I want it to, I don't know if this will be dry yet. Let's see what we can do here. Just going to add a couple. Hopefully I'm not smearing this. I did smear it a little bit. Okay. Didn't let it dry a while ago and I touched it. Okay. So now I'm just going to take it and kind of set him offside there, just like so. Now you should have your 5 little dots inside your packet. I am only finding 3 of my 5 dots. I don't know what I did with them. Shucks. Okay, well, I'm sure they're going to turn up, so we will add what we have so we can move right along and then add them when we find them. See how that comes together? So, my goodness, I love it. I love this card and how simple it is, but it really brings your eye elsewhere. Just kind of, now let me see, because my bag is empty. What did I do with them? Shucks. Well, that ain't no fun. Okay. So then you will add your bow here. Get your glue dot and you will stick your bow right down there, and then we will add some flowers. I'm going to just move this one out of the way and show you the finished one. So you can see that I used each butterfly color to bring it, because we have all the colors going in the card. Okay? So the next one that we're going to be doing is this one. This one's super fun. A little bit of coloring going on. And I can color this too, or you can leave it black and white because these outside ones are. So get your little packet that looks like this out, and we're going to slide it together real quick. Okay, all your little pieces are already ready for you. So all we have to do is assemble. Now don't attach your white piece yet, okay? Because we've got to wrap our piece of ribbon around it, but we're going to add our strips before we do that. Now, I also want to get your little scissors, and we are going to randomly snip these pieces in just one direction or the other on each end. So we're just kind of cutting them in a slant like so. Let me set that one to the side, and then each one is different, so just basically have fun with them. Don't worry about which way what's going, unless you want to. I mean, that's a thing. Okay, one more, just like so. All right, now let me get my little pieces out of the way. Put this back up here so you can see. And then I'm gonna flip them over, and then we'll lay them in order accordingly. Okay, So it really don't make a difference on how you lay these. What I did like to do though is leave about 1/4 of an inch from each side, and then you just start layering your pieces on. And don't, even whether you're using glue or your just really Snell adhesive or anything, put it on there, but don't just push down. So that way, if you need to pull it back up before the final look, you can adjust it just a little bit, okay? Because that is important. And if you want, have fun and make them crooked, or you can keep them all straight edged with one another, which is what I'm kind of trying to do. Okay, now take your piece of ribbon that you have inside there, and you're going to wrap it around this. And we're going to, the easiest way to do this is pull it where it's centered on the end and then bring it around to the front, okay? So now you'll tie you a bow. You can do this. If you struggle tying a bow, maybe just tie a knot to it. Because, yeah, sometimes some people just rather have a knot than a bow, and that's okay. Oh my goodness, are you loving these ideas? I adore them. So cute. All right, I barely gave myself enough ribbon on that one. So now I want to attach my scallop, my large scallop. We're going to attach it right down here in the center. Before I do though, since my ribbon is a little bit, what I feel like is loose, I'm going to take some tear tape and just add it to the top right there. So to add the first scallop, I want you to lay it flat down on here. Now you can use your tear tape, you can use glue, use whatever adhesive that you're using on hand. You know me, I absolutely love my multi-purpose glue. So I'm going to give that a little snug push down, and I'm going to attach this with some dimensionals, okay? So we'll do, I do one on each corner here, just like so. Now I put one on the back of my ribbon there because then that way it just helps, another reason to hold your ribbon in place. You don't want your card to come apart. That's never any fun. So just center this up. And now we're gonna move it to the side. Now you have this little piece inside your packet. This is the piece that you're going to stamp on. And then we have the little circle with flowers, and we're gonna color it. I am going to go ahead though and stamp my sentiment so that maybe this time around it has time to dry while we are doing our coloring. I mean, eventually I'll get it right and it won't smear, but don't hold me to it. Because there's a good, yeah, see, me is just busting out at me. So juicy. But for sake for the video, it's fine. We will use what we have. Okay, so I'm going to bring in as much color with this that I possibly can, because I just really want to show off our in colors, but also to show you just how pretty it could be. Okay, I mean, like, I know I'm just like scribbling through this and you're like, ah, slow down, but it's a big flower. I think I'm safe. I'm hoping I'm safe. I'm not going to panic yet. I'm going to use my Crisp Cantaloupe, and then I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to barely blush. Just kind of go over this one. kind of losing sight of where my flower is at on here though. One thing at a time, I guess. Then I'm going to pull in my hydrangea hue with this one over here, so you can make this a pretty little bouquet. Yeah, not pretty, I know. Love it. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my hydrangea hue for these little flowers over here. I have no idea what these are. All I know is they're pretty little flowers, and I can throw some color on there, and it's going to look pretty just because I threw some color on there. Right? So yeah, I'm going with it. Sure. Agree. Or not. It's fine. It's fine if you don't. Okay, I'm kind of, let's see, light. So I'm just going to lightly go through here with the leaves so I can find out what's going on. There's so many flowers, so many flowers, and I'm trying to not take up too much time by coloring, because I know after a while it's like, fast forward, please. But we only have one more project after this, you guys. So that's really exciting, eh? I think so. Okay. Don't worry, I will come back and fill in that green, even though I didn't grab the one before I put that one back down. It will be okay. I'm living this. See how it's coming to life? Yeah. Okay. So then I'm just going to take this darker one, because I just colored with the light one, just to kind of give a little bit of accent to the few little leaves actually that are just showing, because there's not a whole lot going on over here. Okay, coming in, we're almost done. I'm going to do this one over here and we will finish this card. All right. Cute, right? Love it. Okay. Now I'm going to add this to the top of the scallop. Now you can use dimensionals or you can lay it flat. I am going to go ahead and add some more dimension to it. I love having the depth, especially with the ribbon and the different shapes we have going on here. I just think that it makes for a perfect time. And then I know that my sentiment's going to go down here at the bottom. Just line my flowers up to where I think they're somewhat upright. And then now I'm going to add dimension on just the one end of this and a little bit of glue to the other, because that way it'll hold it up flat, because it's going over a part that's already dimensioned, just like so. The last thing we need is to break our little beautiful butterflies back out. I am going to be pulling from the petaled pink ones. Not petaled pink. Ha! Did y'all catch that? I totally did. Crisp Cantaloupe. It does have a petal pink feel though. It's just a little bit darker than our regular petal pink. All right, so there's card number 4. Now y'all ready for the last card? This one, you want to see? Okay, to get you excited, in case you're not, here it is. So this little guy inside your packet is moving up and down on your card. So to open your card, you just simply slide it off. Your card opens. What? Yes, I know. And then you just slide it back down onto your card to keep it shut. Cute, right? Okay, so get your last pack out and let's make this beauty happen. So you do have a little piece right here. We're going to color and cut this out. Everybody probably has a different one. Some of you may have it, some may not. I mean, you know, the same one that we're using right now, but overall everybody is got the same but different. Okay, so take your piece before you fold them in half. There is a little, you have two that are this size, that are the same exact size, and then you have this little one. This one is the first piece that we're going to add onto our card. You're going to add it to the inside of the card, close down to the bottom, just like so, but not flush with the bottom. So just kind of, I don't know, maybe 1/8 up from the bottom. Now take your piece of white cardstock. Now if you want to stamp something on there, I would go ahead and do that before you attach it, and then I just kind of center it in just like so. Just because if you mess up, you have the ability to turn it over. Now take these two little pieces. Now I'm going to be using the black and white side. I think it's absolutely adorable. But this other side is just as beautiful. Maybe you want to do that side. So choose which side you want to do and add them on there. Because if you use the other side, you have options to color the flowers. And that is pretty too. Okay. Now we have that. Now this is the front, so flip it back over because this is the inside. Da-da-da. Now with this, I want to stamp my sentiment, but I'm only going to stamp it like just to one side here. So let me get my thank you back out, because I am going to be stamping it over on the right side of my circle. Because my Voss will go on the other side. Okay, I'm going to set that up there so it has time to dry. Now with your two scallops, take them, and if you kind of look, you can see which side's the back side. It feels a little different, and you can tell. So flip these over so that both of the outsides are on the bottom of your workstation. Now you're going to use one of these, and we're going to get our dimensionals, and we're going to make a straight line down the center of our scallop, okay? So you can take and just line these up and put them down, or you can use the side of it and just trim it to the side, however you, but we're only going to add the dimensionals down the center of our scallop. Now the first time I did this, I did use the outside of my dimensional pack here. This time I'm going to use these little guys all the way down. The two reasons. One was because the piece that I did add on there was a little bit thin, and I think that it needed to be a little bit thicker. Probably didn't matter, probably doesn't matter. But here's my theory. I'm going to try it both ways, and I will tell you which one I think works better. It may not matter either way though, for sure. Okay. Now you just flip this one back over to where it's right side up, and then you are going to line these two scallops up together. Give it a good little push. Now this little thank you is going on top of this. Now I did put dimensionals on the back of it as well. You just want to make sure when you add it to your scallop that it is on this right side up from the center that you just put all those dimensions. Because if you don't, when you slide it onto your card, it's kind of going to be sideways. That ain't no good either. All right, so let me figure out where this is my top. So I'm going to add this right to the middle of my top, just like so. Darn it. Okay, so it's all coming together. Now you want to fold your card. I'm going to let you see how this works. And you're going to take your scallop and you're going to slide it down on both of your pieces just like so. Will I say that? It's giving me a fit. Okay, there it goes. So now what you should be able to do is slide it right down onto your card. I'm going to take my little piece here that I need to color real fast. So just bear with me for just a second. Go ahead and color yours, cut it out. You can leave it black and white if you want to. I'm going to try to do this as fast as I possibly can for you guys. All right. Don't know. Not trying to be like super nice, but I don't want it to just be like. Now I'm going to show you a fun little trick with that in just a few minutes as well. So I'm going to, let's do our golden glow flowers. Why not? I haven't used them a whole lot today. So maybe instead of getting this flower pot, you got a vase of flowers. Or maybe you might have got a potted plant. Either way, they are all absolutely adorable. And I think they would all accent to this very nicely. Now, I like to color mine before I cut it out. A couple of reasons for that. One, if you get outside the lines, guess what you can do? Cut it around it. And then that way nobody sees that you cut outside the lines. That's fun. The other thing is, it's easier cutting on a bigger piece of paper than it is anything else. So hang on. We will see if I can do this without not making it too terribly sloppy. I don't want to mess it up a whole lot. That would not be good. Herbs. All right, I'm almost around the deal. I'm telling you guys, the video is almost done. I really do hope that you enjoyed this month's Fun Create cards. Every month is always fun, I think. And if you would like to join and get this monthly, let's chit chat. Also, I love if you say hello. Let me know if you're enjoying your creations. Okay, that is terribly sloppy, but I am going to go ahead. Before I attach it, I just kind of see where I need to add my glue. And I'm only going to need it on one side of my pot and flowers. Whether it's a vase or whatever, you just want to need it one side. The other side, not so much. It's going to still be just sticking off there. Just like so. And you can also, if you haven't seen them, you guys get your shimmer pens and then you can add fun little, okay, let me get it going here. Oh well, okay. And just paint on top of it. And I don't know if you can see it, but you can add a little bit of color to your stuff and it just makes everything super cute. So yeah, there you go. We have created 5 fun projects. I hope you did enjoy them today. I'm gonna bring them back out for you so that you can see what we did. Da-da-da. There's one. There's one. There's one. And finally, get our little hugs. Oh, you know what we didn't add to that? Of course, come back and add your butterflies. For sure, add your butterflies. I didn't, but it'll be beautiful. So, not to keep you any longer, y'all be blessed, have fun, and keep creating.